What's going on, everyone? Kristian Hernández here with Sports Video Group. We are with one of the two finalists for the 2025 College Football National Title game in Atlanta. Just so happens to be the Ohio State Buckeyes. We are very pleased to be joined by the Director of Creative and Branding for Ohio State Football, Ethan Miller. Ethan, first of all, congrats, dude. We're recording on Wednesday of this week. You guys head down to Atlanta on Friday. Yeah, congrats, and great work this year. But what are the thoughts? Initial thoughts before the title game.
Well, first off, thank you for having me, and I'm not just myself, but everybody here, the creative team, the staff. But I mean, this is what we build for every year. So everyone's excited that all the hard work, all the long hours that everybody in this building has put in, is you know coming to something to what we've been building for all year is right here at the doorstep for us. So uh, everyone's super happy, super excited, but obviously, as of right now, the job isn't finished. Um, we still have, we're still chasing that ring. So all the work that's been done isn't finished until, the clock hits zero on Monday. So we're super excited, but we know what's ahead.
Yeah, no doubt. I always think about, everyone understands the players are grinding since, the summer months to kind of get to this game. You guys are too. And that's exactly why I want to give you and your team this platform to kind of show the digital content and social media stuff that are firing up the fans that go to the games and support this team. So it's not the only people wearing the helmets that are grinding too. So to start off for you, Ethan, just I guess take me back to the beginning of the year when you guys sat down in a boardroom or a meeting and you had to think, hey, what's the overall content strategy for the season? Is there a word? Is there a theme? What was kind of going through your guys' head?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing for us this year was we knew what the potential, I mean, at Ohio State, the potential for what the season is tremendous every year. I don't know if we really had a true theme or word that had a meaning, but what we really wanted to dive into was the whole storytelling of this season. Something that maybe hasn't been done as much in the past, where it's long form stuff to really tell the story of what's going on with this team during the off season, in season, everything that's really going on compared to just photos, quick videos of a workout, anything along those lines. So we really wanted to, make sure that we were telling the story the way it needs to be told because, not a lot of people are inside of, the doors of the Woody or, any football program, any program really at all. And we're here to, change the perspective and show the narrative of who this team is and what they've been through. So when we sat down, that was something that we really wanted to make sure we harped on a lot. And that's why we're in every team meeting, the beginning and end of every practice, from the beginning season, end of season, off season, workouts to film everything because when it's all said and done, we want to make sure we have everything we need to be able to tell the story. And where we are now, we're just on the edge of being able to tell this historic run that we have everything to be able to capture, and we captured all the way up until this point to tell what it is. So that was a big thing going this year for us, truly, to just be able to capture this historic, season.
There are only a select few every year that get the chance to wear the gray helmet with the Buckeye stickers. So, and obviously get a scholarship or walk on to play on a Division I program in the Big Ten. So you're trying to translate what it's like in the day or the weeks that their job, right? They're basically student athletes. So you're trying to translate that to the fans who are cheering these guys on. So I guess let's dive deeper into it, Ethan. The season long content, whether it be, serialized content, long form, short form, graphics. What were some of the examples of content that you guys created this year?
Yeah, so one thing that we do every year is a trailer in season, like it's the hype video that we make 2 days before kickoff. That's something that's been a really historic thing that has been a big piece of Ohio State creative. There's a standard to it, and that's the thing with Ohio State. The standard isn't just the players in the program; it's the staff members from top to bottom. So everything we do, there's a standard to it, and we're here to uphold that. And um, with that, the trailers are one thing, but out of season, that was something that's really the time that we knew when this season came to an end, where we're almost at right now. Those were the most important moments for the staff and the players and what this story is. So we knew we had to kind of tell that story, whether it's mat drills, workouts, big pieces along the way to be able to tell what's going on. Like we wanted people to see what our guys are going through. It's not, we're not doing nothing and
Hmm.
we're working. It's off season for everybody, but not for us. There really isn't an off season in a way. So we wanted to make sure that those pieces of content, so off season mat drills, big workouts, max out days, leading up into spring ball, and that was a new thing this year. We even did a spring ball trailer to kind of bring everything that had been done throughout the whole off season. From workouts to practices into just one piece of content that could also get the fans even more fired up and leading up into that game. And I think it worked with having over 80,000 fans at a spring game. So being able to tell that and showcase that was something that was just the beginning of what we were trying to do leading up to the season and getting everybody excited because everyone knows who they are, but they haven't. Not everyone's seen what they're going through, and that's what we're there to capture and produce for them. And so that was our main goal at the beginning of the season. In that first trailer, last year was over. It's a new team, new year. So everything that we had captured and were creating as a whole team was put into that. Nothing from the season before was used. It's a new team, new slate, and that's just kind of where we were at. And that kind of led into the rest of the season with recaps, trailers, big moments in time that we really created. Anything big, there was a piece to it that we put out there.
Right. And I don't want to spoil something that you're going to talk about a little later, but it's basically starting from day one and you're kind of going on a journey, like you said, with these players, right? When they are freshmen. So if they stay until they're junior, right, and they're seeing a piece of content 2 or 3 seasons from now, you'd be like, oh, I remember when he was in his first, year as a Buckeye, and now look where he's come and look what he's won and look all the potential that he has. So that's cool. Like I said, it's a year-long job for both you guys, both the team and your team. So it's kind of crazy how you guys start from the ground in the spring to where you guys are now. Next question. There's got to be something that's been hitting with the team, and not the team, but with the fans, right? Either most popular, most engaged. You guys have a fan base with rabid supporters, but also celebrity supporters. So I don't want to spoil it, but you guys have some cool collabs because a lot of famous people do come to the Horseshoe on the weekend.
Yeah, no, we our fans are great. It's the biggest fan base in all college football for a reason, and I used to be one. I grew up in Columbus, just outside of Columbus in Delaware, Ohio. My mom and dad went to Ohio State, so I grew up a Buckeye. So I know what it's like to be them. And I think that helps a lot with the content we're creating. I know what traditions, the excellence, what this place means to the fans. I mean, this what it means to the fans is the same thing it means to the players and staff, though. I mean, they're in it, but we understand the traditions and what this place means and what's going to get them fired up. So that's something that I really like enjoy getting to know because if it was a place I'd never known, it'd be a lot of learning and
Right.
figuring out stuff like that, even random stuff like alma maters, their fight songs, everything along those lines. To maybe it's really big, just like ours is. Carmen, Ohio is a big thing here, so that is something we always harp on using. Continuing the OHIO chants that happen right before kickoff, during kickoff, in games, on the road, no matter where you are, because we always like to include that because that is a big thing. It's as small as it seems. It is a big thing to include in those because it makes them feel like they're a part of it.
And I guess keying on the celebrity part, there is a one LeBron James that does come to your games. So I guess talk about the content that you're creating around that guy and the buzz that he brings.
Yeah, no, LeBron, he's great. There's a lot of things, especially with the off the top of my head, just right before the season started, EA Sports, new college football game, big buzz around everywhere, and there's a lot of stuff that we did with EA Sports with building hype around it with their pregame run out shots of the game, and then us using it on our platforms, kind of bring some excitement to it. And then there was a celebrity Twitch stream game that celebrities had picked their team and played against each other, and you could watch it. And LeBron picked us, saying that was something that we took advantage of, and we made a graphic, put it at the time. LeBron from a game here, getting ready to do that, and obviously we collab with him and do all that fun stuff. And obviously it ended up being over 300,000 likes on Instagram, which one of our best performing posts in the off season by far. And he's always helpful with what we may need, and there may be something special from him specifically for for the game on Monday coming out Saturday, but we'll see about that.
Oh, we love that. We love teasing the folks here. That's great, Ethan. Perfect.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Uh, Next thing for you, Ethan, there's, you know, it's like a child. You can't pick a post that's your favorite because you love all of them equally. But if you had to break that rule, what's your most favorite? Or what did you enjoy the most? Or what do you think as a local, you know, Columbus native and Ohio State Buckeye fan, what do you think was something that would have, you know, pulled the heartstrings or was something that was poignant to the fans?
Yeah, so I would say too, the most recent one was the Team Up North trailer that we did. Pulled out the heartstrings a little bit just because it was something that was that hype video and the excitement around that game is really the same every year in a way for what we put out. It's it's a rivalry. We don't like them, they don't like us, and putting that together, just big plays and big hits. And I wanted to figure out a way to include that, but make it somewhat different. And we had Coach Hartline's son come in wearing coach's gold pants, watching the TV, listening to Jim Tressel talk about what it means to be a Buckeye. That one meant a lot to me just because I used to be that kid. I used to be him. So that one pulled the heartstrings a little bit. But I would say my favorite piece for me personally would be this offseason right after the draft. We put together my team helped me out with, obviously all the footage in the offseason while we were here with him. We did interviews with Coach Hartline, Marvin, and Coach Dave to piece it together as well. But it was a whole video built around Marvin Harrison Jr., the journey. And that's something special to tell. He's a generational talent, and he was here at our fingertips. So it was one of the coolest pieces to be able to tell, working with him and his family to get footage from being younger. And then as soon as he stepped on campus at Ohio State, from that moment to draft night, we were there filming unseen footage of practices, workouts, everything that everyone saw in the games, to kind of really piece together not just Marvin, the player, but also the person behind the scenes, because he's one of the most genuine guys. So it really meant a lot for us to be able to put something together for him. And it was like a 14-minute video to capture his long and successful journey here. So there was a lot to fit in that time, but it was honestly a blessing to be able to put something that special together. And I'll always remember putting that one together, but without a doubt.
Right. It's why you and the crew do it, right? Making stories, telling stories. But even when Marvin, retires after an illustrious career, in the NFL and stuff like that, he can always look back at his time that led him to being a Buckeye. So, and he'll always have that. And you being a part of that is something that's really special. So kudos to you guys on that. A little bit more of like the nitty-gritty stuff from us at the SVG point of view. But just talk to me about, I guess, the day-to-day operations, whether it be, you gained the trust of Coach Day, and and having his being a part of that program and being allowed to be inside of it, and then you're also making relationships with the players. You guys, you have Jeremiah Smith. You guys have all these studs that will soon enough be drafted too, right? And the the same likenesses as Marvin. But what's it been like? Like you said, telling stories, but also just being able to be around them.
It's a blessing. For one, Coach Day's been amazing with us. He's given his trust in our team to be able to, be at every event, team meetings, practices during season, out of season, locker room stuff, everything that, what we're here to tell the story and be a part of, but also trying to be a fly on the wall, obviously, as much as we can so that we don't seem in the way. But the trust he's given us has really helped us, be able to create what you see out on our social platforms. Without his trust, we wouldn't be able to do all that. And he's really put a lot of trust in us to be able to do that. And the more you see faces, the easier the more comfortable you feel. So that was something when we brought in a new team, we wanted to make sure everyone was out at all the practices. So all the players and coaches would recognize them,
Right.
especially when they first got here. Now it's like they know exactly who they are, what they're doing. And the trust is there, and that really helps us build and tell the stories the way they should be told. So I can't thank him enough for believing in us and having that trust to be able to put something like that together, because without that, it'd be it'd be a lot more difficult,
Right.
honestly, to really tell the true story and be able to do our job to the standard and the best that we possibly can without trust. So and he did it early on and trusted us. So that was something that I'm grateful for so that we can, do our job at the highest level. And then for the players, like they're amazing. I mean, everything that we do, we ask them to do so much on in season media days. If we don't do a lot of different jerseys here at Ohio State, but when we do, like, and they're out of nowhere, the spite of the moment, we work with our EQ staff, and they help us get that stuff together and do photo video shoots to really tell that story through photo, through video, whatever it may be, because it's something different, something to excite the fans. And they're great working with us because we will just reach out to them with our ideas, and then they'll make it happen. And we're always super grateful for that, because our schedules are busy, but so are theirs. They're a student, they're an athlete, they're basically working a full-time job in a way. And then we're asking them to do side stuff. So obviously we're always grateful for them to help when we need to. And whether it's in season or out of season, we'll just, talk to them. Hey, I had this idea. And then they're like, okay, let's do it. And then they're super appreciative all the time too. So it makes it easy for us to work with them, because we've been around for a while as well. So we are, we have really good relationships with each other, and they know that, we're here to help, build their brand,
Right.
build Ohio State's brand, but also theirs. And us doing little nits and bits about, with their uniform, stuff like that is just a little piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, and they get it, right? They're on social. They want to, be a part of it. I feel like the more and more I do these interviews, obviously, if you talk about it like years ago, they're like, oh, what's this newfangled platform? But everyone's like, oh, hell yeah, you want to do a TikTok? You want to do an Instagram? You want to do, whatever? They're like, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. So that I'm sure that always helps from your side of
Yeah,
it.
it does. And it's always helpful, especially with the new ways that, content's being able to be shared, like Instagram being able to collab with guys. Like every chance we get, we collab with them on, if it's a player of the game graphic, it's a big play in game that we produce, whatever it may be, in season, off season, we always make sure that we do that, because that just helps build their brand and ours as well. And it's something that, Instagram has done, not hasn't been around for a while, but
Mhm.
that feature is super helpful, because you can collab with multiple people and just get it out to even more eyes and insights than, just on your single page. So it's super helpful to be able to do that.
Awesome. Real quick, Ethan, I guess, a rundown of the equipment that you guys use, whether it's editing, cameras, lenses, stuff like that you guys use to shoot the content.
Yeah. So we shoot all Sony. We have, for photo wise, we have A1s, A7R5s. We shoot everything with those. A bunch of 7200s. And we have two new ones of the second version, and those are unbelievable, because they're just, the lightweight of them make it super easy and accessible for us to be able to use. Video wise, we use A7S3s, FX3s, FX6. And then we have a lot of, longer focal lengths, like 7200s, 2 to 600s, 6600s, to be able to, in-game content, along with a bunch of wide angle, primes that are, 14 millimeters, 20, 24 70s, 16 to 28, 1635, 50s, and anything you can name. Those are the main ones we use, just to be able to capture so many different angles of content, different types of, views. And one thing we have added this year that we have been using is a little Osmo Pocket, that, I've been attaching to the top of my rig, that, if I'm shooting on a 2 to 600 and some play comes right to me and they're way too close for me to be able to even focus on thing, that Osmo is super wide and gets a great 4K angle of it still, and it's incredible. So it's really handy. But those are the main things that we use when it comes to shooting photo, video, whatever it may be. When it comes to editing, we use everything in Adobe as well. Lightroom, Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, After Effects. And then our intern, Brian J., he uses Blender. He's been in his 3D bag, you could say. He is unbelievable. He's really taken a lot of things that we've done this year to new heights with his 3D element that we haven't had before. So that's another thing that this year was really implemented and that he has taken on. And I mean, he's unbelievable with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Brian. That's a perfect segue, Ethan. But shout out to the colleagues. It's a big staff at, not only Ohio State athletics, creative, but also on the football staff. Solely dedicated to the football team. So this is the time to give them their shine.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, No, it's just like any other team in sports, working outside of sports, whatever it may be, you can't do it by yourself. And without my team, we wouldn't be where we are because all of them, Michael Good, Peter Fortunato, Zach Kelly, Brian J, Sam Mazzola, those are all the guys that work in my room with me for football specifically. And without them, we couldn't do it. We couldn't be where we are because that's the thing. Everyone in our room really has different expertise that they're really good at. And
Right.
that's what helps everyone learn, get better, and have different perspectives. Like we don't have two people that are only really good at photo and can't do anything else. We don't have two of the same in a way. And that's really elevated, I think, our performance, our videos, our photos, our anything and everything, just based on that, because everyone has such different mindsets and such different skill sets that they're, you know, not just good, they're, great at. And you can't build, a program and be the standard without those type of people. And we have that here. Uh, and they do it at a high level. So, I mean, without them, this train doesn't run. So I can't thank them enough for what they've done and what they do for me to help tell this story of this team. They're the best.
If you're a Buckeyes fan watching, those are the people that you click on the videos for and give all the likes to. They're the people that make it possible, no doubt. Last one for you, sir, before you head off. Just think about everything when we just had a full conversation about it. But when you start the spring schedule, obviously expectations are high at Ohio State, right? Where the expectation is to make it to the playoff and get through the playoff and get to the championship game. But now that you're actually like here, right? Those are just dreams in spring football. But now that you're here, just talk about the pride that you have and the work that you do, and just the fact that you're playing for the biggest title in football, right? In the first year of the 12 team playoff. There's so many implications, right? Tell me what's
Yeah,
going through your mind.
yeah. I mean, I can't put it into words. I mean, it is such an unbelievable blessing for me because, like I said at the beginning, well, one, I wouldn't be here without my mom and dad and it wouldn't mean as much to me without them because I grew up a Buckeye. This is home for me, and I wouldn't want to do this anywhere else. So being able to grow up and watch all the teams when I grew up and watching, the players, the coaches that, when I was younger, watching, remembering like that's why I love Ohio State. Those people, those players, those coaches. And now to be able to be a part of it, in a way, I'm not out on the field. That's for sure.
Mhm.
But being able to capture and be a part of, what this team is, the story, and being able to capture that and tell the story is something I will never forget. And I never thought I would, be here, to be honest. Like it just seems surreal when I even first got to ISA as a job, let alone 3 years later where I am now. It's it's just super surreal that, to be a part of greatness in a way. I mean, you're playing on the biggest stage for the biggest program and the biggest game in college football. And I had the opportunity to, be able to tell that story with the rest of my team. And I can promise you, we take care of business on the field. That story to be told from our team on what this season has been, that my creative staff will be able to build, is one like you've never seen. So it's unbelievable, but it's unbelievable, and as it really is, like there is understand that the job isn't finished yet. So it is a game, but at the end of the day, we haven't won it. We haven't won anything. So as soon as that's done, then that might change a little bit. But at the end of the day, the biggest thing I can say is it's definitely a blessing.
No doubt. If that doesn't give you chills, you're definitely not a human being. It's kind of it's crazy to think about, but amazing stuff. And so unwarranted piece of advice on Monday: put the camera down, just look around, and just take it in for a little bit, just for a second, and then get back to the job. You got to enjoy it, but
Yeah, yeah.
for sure. Ethan, thank you for the time, man. Congrats on all the work that you guys have done for the past couple of months throughout the regular season and obviously the playoff. And good luck on Monday. Go Bucks, right?
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you having me. Can't say thank you enough for allowing us to really tell our story as well, the creative team that, what they've done and been able to create all year. So thank you for having me to be able to, tell that.